right? So it's proving the point that people are generous.
Okay.
So for me, obviously, I'd have to be in the rich places.
Okay, cool. And I think you've just touched on something very important. And I think when you were performing outside, you also said usually, people will show their appreciation of giving you money.
Yes.
But sometimes it's the small little things to say, you've literally just put a smile on my face. And the comments on TikTok, because I usually read all of those, people are always saying, wow, this guy's voice is incredible. You've literally just made my day so much better. And I think that's also an act of generosity. It's showing support towards you as a young talent in South Africa, as a young artist. And I think what we want to try and focus on from a Capri, I'm just going to bring it a little bit closer to Capri Dairymilk when we spoke about it during the week when we met. The key thing that we want to try and drive is that we want to remind consumers or people in South Africa to be generous, do a little something for someone. And I think you are one of the best examples that we can actually look at of someone that is generous, because you actually use your voice as your act of generosity. And I think I've seen on your post, like you hardly ever asked for like money. You do it because you've got the passion for it. You love singing, you love inspiring people, you love putting smiles on people's faces. And I think from our perspective, that's kind of like the generosity that we celebrate as a brand. So we want to say thank you for really like using your voice as an act of generosity. To really, I mean, if you had a very awkward, or not awkward, but an off day, and you're stuck in traffic and you pass Kutlwano, I can promise you will be guaranteed that you'll drive past him with a smile on your face. And that's something small, and that's kind of the generosity that we celebrate. So really thank you from our side. And then I want to just quickly ask you, in terms of your I can't actually ask that question now. Your favorite chocolate, what would that be?
Yeah. No, you got it right. But the thing is, Cadbury is a big brand. I mean, it's older than my great grandmother. So, yeah, it's been there. So it won't be like I'm lying when I say like a top deck, or I'm exposed to it. So the marketing is there. So I can't really lie. Yeah. If I were to name my top 5 brands, probably you'd show.
And I think Jacques touched on brands, right? So I think from your perspective, as brands, how do you think we could better equip people like you to be able to spread the word of generosity, and as well as achieving your dreams?
Well, I'll speak for myself. I mean, the problem is getting so much support. Sometimes you don't even know like how other people can assist you, because I'm not in a place of needing assistance. I'm still doing my 10,000 hours, but someone could actually fasten up the pace of what I'm doing, right? I could get my 5-year target in 3 years. So that's something that someone can do for me. Like now, I want to travel to the United States, but for me to do that, that means I have to, wait a bit, because the funds have to be much nicer for me to afford to travel and all.
Yeah, and then what would you say then is the final goal, the final dream? Like, where do you want to see yourself being one day?
I enjoy traveling, so I feel like if I could travel the entire 200 plus countries, I would have achieved my dream, because there are some places, different cultures that I still need to go into. So I feel like the music that I sing still needs to be heard by many people before even my music, because as you would know, they tell you that music has kind of deteriorated a bit, the quality of music and messaging. But that's why I'm leaning towards these type of songs. I feel like the timeless meaning behind them still have value. Yeah.
Timeless meaning, that's a really good description. I think we're celebrating 200 years globally of CDM, and it's all about really showing that timeless classic. So the classics that you cover is kind of the manifestation of what CDM is as a brand. It's timeless, it's always been around, it's been in the family, people can resonate with it. Kutlana, in terms of traveling, where have you traveled in South Africa? Have you been to some of the other provinces, and have you traveled overseas?
My plan is to travel overseas, but I've only been like in Gauteng, Limpopo, Northwest,
Okay.
KZN,
Brilliant. Cool.
and Mpumalanga. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So still Western Cape to come, Cape Town. So, yeah.
Cool, team. So I'm gonna open up the floor for any question. Thank you.
Sorry guys. Very important question that everybody always asks when you see somebody with singing talent in particular. Why don't you enter Idols? That's the first one. And the second one, which is contentious. Which is the most generous neighborhood? Joke, okay.
I wouldn't say, okay, with the latter question, I wouldn't say where like which neighborhood is the most supportive, because when I go to another neighborhood, you say, we know you said we don't support you. So, no, not that one. Yes, but the most supportive is Senderwood by it's super. Yeah, but for Idols, I don't know if you know that South African Idols is discontinued, so that means that I have to travel to the United States.
Sorry guys, obviously I'm not like...
So I think American Idol will be something to look towards, but then yeah, I need to afford to get there.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not sharing about the community though, which is supportive. No, we're doing that.
Oh, bro, I just want to say, bro, you're talented, bro. I think like as a music fan and interested in the music business as a whole, I think whether label or like a manager, for me, you are achieving things that most artists that are signed to labels they can't get. Is the true thing is you gain your audience consistently, and that's the one thing, that's the most important thing, right, for you, is that you're establishing your audience. Other artists, they have to pay for the audience, get onto those stages, but I think the superpower that you have, I know that it's like, oh, when you're gonna get signed. Honestly, don't get signed, bro. Just literally get a manager if you need one, but what you have is the audience and the platform. And then from there, then you start building on that consistently, and then where you go from there is that once you have that audience, then you're like, okay, now let's get a venue. And then you get them in. So just stick with your audience, build it consistently over time, and I promise you, you'll be good, bro. Just wanted to add that part. Thank you.
I forgot to even ask who your name is, but yeah, what I like about it is that you could actually join my team. You know, what you just said. You know, because what's actually funny about this is when like people want, I don't know, but that's how, it's not like we brainwashed, but they just sell that dream that you need to be signed, not knowing that does that even make sense in 2024. So people don't do their research, and then they tend to cry and say, I've signed a bad deal, you know, these people are evil and things like that, but then you did not read the fine print. So it's important to lay your own success, to understand what is success for you, right? To take it to what Jack has said, like making someone happy. You know, when someone looks at me funny on the road, that's where I feel like my day is going bad. But if someone smiles, you know, it doesn't matter how much you give me. The fact that you're smiling, even if you don't give me money,